There comes a time in your life when you realize that you have to leave your country for any reason, to do a journey to another country. We, as immigrants, know how difficult it can be to achieve our goal, being far off our family and friends. Challenges, achievements, adaptation are constantly involved in our lives. For that reason, we have created this program, the Immigrants Magazine, to show you different immigrant stories. Some of them started from nothing, and now they are professionals in their fields, or simply other immigrant stories full of dreams. As an example of that, Swarnima Na is from India. She is a jewelry designer. Her career is about designing, color, and creation. I am Fabiola Palomino, your host. Welcome to the Immigrants Magazine's program. Swarnima Na, tell her story in our Tell Us Your Story segment.
I was born in India. I was born in Mumbai, and I grew up there for the first 10 to 13 years of my life. Then, because my dad's a diplomat, we moved to the UK, and so all my teens and adulthood was in England, and we lived there for almost 2 decades. And thereafter, I actually made a decision to move back to India because I was very passionate about starting a brand of my own. And after having lived and studied and worked in England, I just was striving at that point in my life to connect to my real passion, which was designing and being creative. I have worked everywhere. I've worked in Mumbai specifically. I've worked as a merchandiser. I worked in the design field in Mumbai. I have worked in different parts of India. In fact, I worked in Gujarat in one of the villages where I was doing an internship on my degree program, which was textiles. And I lived in a village for 3 months, learning about hand block printing and natural dyeing. So I worked with a natural dyer and block printer in Gujarat. Then I have lived in London and worked with Marks and Spencer's, where I was doing an MPhil. It was part of my MPhil degree, and it was textile finishing. So I worked with Marks and Spencer's in London on Baker Street, and then I moved back to India and started my own business. I have studied in India and England, so all my schooling has been in India, and then I did my degree in textiles in England, and then I did my master's in England, and then I went back to India and did what I do now, jewelry. So I did jewelry design, and I worked in the diamond industry there back in India. So it's been like a little bit of UK and a little bit of India. I consider myself to be a global citizen. Of course, today we live in a very global world. We're all connected by internet and social media, and I do wish, though, now that I'm here in North America, I wish that perhaps it's great to have technology, but it's also nice to have the natural and human touch, like really interact with people. But yes, it's great. It's great to live in a world that's very global, and I'm very, very grateful and humble that I've had the experience to be this global citizen. I have to thank my parents for this, or specifically my dad, because he's the one who's very creative and very talented and artistic. So I think part of that creation and idea of innovation comes from obviously genes. My parents, my father has been able to pass on that. As a designer, I don't really consciously think about inventing or being innovative about something. I try my best to be in tune with myself and be in tune with my environment. That actually gives me the sign that, oh, perhaps I need to do this. So I really use my intuition and my connection and engagement with my environment to really come up with ideas that then translate into innovation. I think of being a designer is, I think I can compare it to maybe like someone like Albert Einstein. You get the image of like crazy hair, and he's so engrossed and passionate in his work that he becomes oblivious of time. And I think for all designers, I mean, I'm sure all designers agree with me, it's not something that's very consistent. You don't consistently feel creative. because it could be that you get creative for 5 minutes of the day on one day, And then the next day, it could be that you are 48 hours, you're constantly creating and you're thinking about the work and you're so engrossed you've forgotten to eat. I was in the Indian market, which is huge. I mean, consumers, you're talking about in hundreds of thousands. Now, in that industry, there are two extremes. You know, either there is very high-end jewelry, which is gold and diamond jewelry, or there is costume jewelry. And there was very few people, few retailers, very few even designers that were really focusing on the gap in the middle, which would allow people to have something of precious value, but something that's still affordable. So for me, of course, having lived in all these different parts of the world, you know, having a very unique mix of Eastern and Western life, I then blended the two experiences to create this line where I was able to think of a material that's precious enough, which is sterling silver. So my debut line consists of sterling silver because, again, it's a standardized material, it's of a high quality, it doesn't tarnish, and it's hallmarked. So I was able to offer the consumer and my potential client a very high quality product, which then is also, it also fits and tunes in with the target clientele that I had, which was a very modern woman who wanted something very stylish, something that is suited to her modern lifestyle, something that has character. So I used sterling silver as my base material, but then I infused it with the beauty of natural gemstones, which I'm very attracted to because I love color. So I use a lot of colored stones, and then I also use zircon in my jewelry. And because I love bright colors so much, I also use a lot of enamel, very brightly colored French enamel. Well, yeah, for the last 5 years, I really have been focusing so much on just getting in touch with my consumer, you know, just focused on selling to really understand what does my client think about my product. You know, I didn't want to be the designer where I just wanted to sell what I make. I really wanted to give something of value to the consumer and then gauge my experience based on what my consumer thinks of my product. And I really strive to make a product that is in tune with what my consumer wants. So I think 3 years from now, my aim is really to be all over North America, you know, and then I think at some, you know, as every little girl and every designer, I would love to at some point, you know, have that space where I'm appreciated for my work and I'm able to work with bigger, greater people, you know, maybe work with more prominent designers, you know, and I've always been in love with films, you know, I love Hollywood, I love Bollywood. I'm pretty sure maybe 3 years from now I might be on, you know, on the red carpet. Maybe one of the actresses is wearing one of my pieces at the Oscars, who knows?
When you finish your high school, normally you have two options: follow a career or looking for a job immediately. Suppose that you have to work at any place and you want to save some money. Are you prepared for your first job interview? Watch this segment, Employment Tips with Gwen Pawlikowski.
Hi, I'm Gwen Pawlikowski, and this is your employment segment. During today's segment, I'd like to talk about some of the difficulties that people have finding jobs when they're quite young. And what I mean by young, I guess, is anywhere between the age of 15 and 25, let's say. Now, this is an age that it can be hard to find a job in. And the main reason is because people in this age group don't tend to have a lot of experience. Most of their time has been spent in education, and so they don't have a lot of paid work experience. So youth unemployment is higher than unemployment for people of other ages. So what are some ways that you can overcome this barrier? Well, let's talk about them. The very first thing that you need to do is understand that a lack of experience is the issue, and that's the issue, really. So we have to think about ways to get experience. The first way to get experience is by volunteering. That's a great way to gain skills, gain references, and you can put volunteer experience on your resume. So as a young person, if you don't have paid work experience, consider doing some volunteering for the kind of job you'd like to be paid for in the future. Another way that you get experience is through education, and this is probably something that you already have. You just have to think about it in a different way. So if you took a class in high school that taught you some practical skills, or in university you gained some practical skills in a class, you can actually write this on your resume. Let me give you an example. The first one I can think of is a class that my son took in high school, which was about metal fabrication and jewelry making. So during this 4-month class, he actually learned how to shape metal and do some metal welding and to form it into earrings and bracelets and necklaces. And this is a beginning skill. Of course, he's not a professional jewelry maker, but it's something that he's learned and something that can be written on a resume. But let me add one more point. While maybe not having a lot of experience is sometimes seen as a disadvantage, being young and having a great open attitude is often seen as a huge advantage. So show that when you're applying for work, when you're having interviews, when you're talking with people in your network. Show them your great, keen attitude and show them how excited and enthusiastic you are about learning. Along with your enthusiasm, make sure that you're showing humility. Okay? You want to sound confident, you want to sound of course, able to learn, but you don't want to sound like a know-it-all either, right? So keep that in balance. Show them how much you want to learn, show them what you've learned so far, and show them your positive feeling toward learning. Because a lot of people are really keen to teach you and to help you grow and develop in your career. So those are 3 main things that you can do to overcome the barrier of being young and having no experience as you look for ways to get your career going. This has been your employment segment. Thanks very much for watching.
There are 2 important reasons why I would like to visit Japan. The first one is to visit the Marugame Castle, and the second one is to compete in the Marugame's boat race. Ian Yas, our reporter, was in Japan. Take a look.
Welcome back to Life in Marugame, Japan. In the center of many Japanese cities, there is a castle park, and Marugame is no exception. Perched on top of a high hill is Marugame Castle. It is a wonderful place to visit, and it is visible throughout Marugame. As you enter the front gate, you are greeted by many fish and turtles, which are perfect for disposing of old bread. There are many paths throughout the park, perfect for exercising. There are also many festivals held here throughout the seasons, but the most beautiful time of year is during the Cherry Blossom Festival. As I said before, the castle is perched on top of a high hill. Time to make the pilgrimage. In Japan, even at the castle, there is a vending machine. Very nice. Marugame Castle itself was completed in 1644. Sadly, in 1869, the majority of the castle burnt down. What is left today is roughly the same size as a generous suburban home. Nonetheless, it is a beautiful structure, and the views from the top are amazing. From the top of Marugame, this is Ian Ayas. See you next time. Japan is known for its countless unique cultural and historical aspects, such as world-famous shrines, temples, and culinary delights. In Marugame alone, there is the majestic Marugame Castle and countless Sanuki Udon restaurants. For foreigners, a lesser-known Japanese cultural phenomenon is that of boat racing. Welcome to Marugame Boat. Only a short trip across the Seto Sea on the marine liner, Marugame Boat is easily accessible from Marugame Station. In Japan, there are 24 boat racing venues. Marugame Boat itself has a long history. Only 2 years ago, the entire facility was completely renovated. Boat races are held on 200 days a year here, during the day and at night, which only 5 venues in Japan offer. There are 1,600 boat racers in total in Japan. 200 of them are women, ranging in age from 18 to 72. Well, if they can do it, so can I. If you get hungry, there is a great selection of Japanese food to choose from. And here we have Onetsuki Dori, Marugame's world-famous chicken. Ladies and gentlemen, one of Marugame's biggest celebrities, Juju. So Juju was born 4 years ago to help promote Marugame City's world-famous chicken. Oh, this looks very delicious, Juju. Juju, you were delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another special guest, Smile-kun, Marugame Boat's very own mascot. Let's go enjoy some boat racing together. Thousands of spectators patronize Marugame Boat daily, placing bets on their favorite drivers and adding to the excitement. At Marugame Boat, there are 12 races each day, 6 in the day and 6 at night. One lap is 600 meters, and one race is 3 laps. In the future, if you find yourself in Marugame, a quick excursion to Marugame Boat is sure to add some excitement to your trip.
How is your English? Remember, watch TV in English. listen radio in English, and read in English. Next segment, how is your English?
Thanks, Fabiola. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's pronunciation lesson. Today, we're looking at past tense verbs. They look easy, but the pronunciation is really important. There are 3 kinds of past tense verbs. They look the same, ed endings, but they sound different. The first category is the easiest to remember. Played, listened, cleaned, fixed, danced. All of these have the same sound, the D sound. If you see Y, N, X, you know it's going to be a D sound at the very end. The next group is really special. It's the id group. Decided, studied, visited, regretted, planted. These words all end in a D sound or a T sound. And finally, our last group is the T group. Watched, liked, hoped, talked, cooked. When you see words that end in ch, k, or even p, you know that they're going to end with a t sound. They're all really important because they help you to sound more natural in your everyday English conversation. So good luck, and don't forget to practice. They are more important than you think. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Having 2 or 3 jobs, we don't have time to cook, don't we? Unfortunately, the solution is go out and eat junk food. Try to find a little space into your busy schedule to make something delicious with your family at home. International flavors, next.
Welcome to our International Flavors. Today, we are going to make banana spring rolls. To make it, we are going to need these ingredients: oil, bananas, brown sugar, and egg roll wrappers. Let's make it. We have already peeled these bananas. What we are going to do is cut in half and cut in strips. The next step to make these banana spring rolls is to take 1 piece of egg roll wrapper in this way. Then a small piece of banana. Place it diagonally. If you want, you can put some brown sugar on it, like this. Now, how to wrap it? We're going to take these corners to the center, the bottom to the center, stack them very well, and keep rolling. That's it. The first step to make banana spring rolls is to put oil in your pan to medium heat. So, to make these banana spring rolls took 10 minutes of preparation, 10 minutes of cooking, and 20 minutes ready. Enjoy it.
Before closing this episode, I would like to tell you some of our goals as a TV show. To educate and inform you, and telling you that you are not alone as an immigrant. And whatever are your dreams, never give up. Anything is possible. Now, if you miss out this episode, you can go to our YouTube channel or follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Have a wonderful day.